In a world relentlessly scrutinized under the spotlight where the quest for eternal youth becomes an all-consuming chase, how far is too far? We are endlessly fascinated by the transformations of the famous watching as they chisel their features in pursuit of an elusive ideal. But behind the dazzling results and red carpet smiles lies a high-stakes gamble with identity, a journey where the line between enhancement and erasure can blur with a single incision. This is an exploration into that world, a look at the triumphs, the tragedies, and the haunting cost of sculpting perfection. Michael Jackson's metamorphosis through cosmetic surgery endures as one of the most discussed facets of his existence, nearly as renowned as his musical artistry. A comparison of his early photographs with his final public appearances in 2009 showcases a striking evolution that captivated admirers and critics alike. His odyssey commenced with minor measures. Following a nasal fracture during a performance mishap in 1979, Jackson had his initial rhinoplasty. Family testimonials indicate he was so wary that he requested his sister LaToya undergo a comparable operation first. Once content with her outcome, he proceeded initiating a sequence of surgical procedures that would continue for decades. What commenced as delicate enhancements evolved into a cycle of perpetual alterations. Specialists contend he underwent numerous nasal surgeries, cheek implants, eyelid procedures, and chin augmentations. While gossip alleged over 100 operations, most surgeons approximate several dozen. Dr. Wallace Goodstein, a medical professional who collaborated with Jackson's healthcare providers, recollected times when the celebrity endured multiple surgeries in one appointment. Jackson frequently justified these operations as essential for respiratory problems, yet conjecture about profound self-doubts never dissipated. His paler complexion ignited ceaseless contention until his post-mortem examination verified he had vitiligo, a disorder resulting in pigment loss. Throughout it all, Jackson stayed dedicated to fashioning an image that aligned with his internal conception of beauty and creativity. His evolving visage, like his music, turned into an element of his heritage, a durable token of fame's duress perfection's expense and the singular life of the king of pop. Jocelyn Wildenstein, notoriously nicknamed Catwoman for her feline-inspired appearance, stands as one of the most debated personalities in the history of celebrity transformations. Now, in her 80s, she perpetually commands public notice with features that have both mesmerized and startled onlookers for decades. Adding to the intrigue of her narrative is her persistent refusal to admit to widespread cosmetic surgery. Jocelyn has consistently asserted that her look is a product of her lineage and high-end skincare, not numerous surgical procedures. In her view, her distinctive appearance is a familial trait merely augmented by elite Swiss beauty treatments. Forget timepieces and confections. She avows the genuine Swiss formula is found in skincare. However, conjecture has painted a starkly different picture. For an extended period, tabloids and insiders have alleged Jocelyn has expended millions on aesthetic procedures, supposedly including several facelifts, blepharoplasties, and cheek augmentations. Estimations of the total cost are a staggering sum exceeding $4 million. Detractors contend that no topical cream could account for such profound and lasting alterations. Wildenstein nevertheless remains resolute in her stance. She waves off conversations about flawed surgery as utter sensationalism, affirming her features are completely natural. Even so, doubters find it almost inconceivable to attribute such a cat-like metamorphosis solely to genetics. Whether one believes her account or not, Jocelyn Wildenstein has moved beyond the typical tale of a plastic surgery mishap. She has evolved into a cultural spectacle, a living emblem of personal reinvention and a focal point for discussions on beauty extravagance and selfhood. Donatella Versace, a veritable fashion titan, has inscribed her name in the annals of style. However, beneath the brilliant splendor is a narrative of unyielding transformation where creativity, personal articulation, and the disputed appeal of aesthetic modification intersect. Her path commenced at an early age. Urged by her brother, Johnny Donatella bleached her tresses in her youth, embracing the platinum blonde style that would evolve into her trademark. That initial trial ignited a perennial quest for an image consistent with her conception of beauty and luxury. In the course of time, her visage has grown as emblematic as the Versace brand itself. Sources and specialists indicate an extensive record of augmentations with Botox fillers and laser treatments included among them. Famed surgeon Dr. Stephen Fall observed how these procedures in aggregate created the audacious, distinct look that characterizes her now. The general consensus has consistently been polarized. Some perceive Donatella as a warning story of overindulgence, an illustration of beauty changed to the point of being unrecognizable. Others regard her as dauntless, brazenly spurning society's fixation on unadorned attractiveness. In a frank discussion, she even disregarded the idea as overvalued, quipping that it is akin to vegetables beneficial, but not her inclination. Now 69. Donatella persists in helming the Versace empire confidently, her platinum hair gleaming, and her presence irrefutable. Her metamorphosis transcends simple vanity. It concerns personal empowerment and rejecting external definitions of the boundaries of allure. Fundamentally, Donatella Versace's narrative is not solely concerned with cosmetic surgery. It is about reimagining aesthetics according to her own standards, defying tradition, and demonstrating that fashion and life are expressions of artistry most effectively conveyed unapologetically. Simon Cowell, the iconic music mogul and television figure responsible for worldwide successes like The X Factor and Got Talent, lately garnered media attention for a striking metamorphosis that sparked widespread conjecture about aesthetic enhancements. In an uncommon confession in 2023, Cowell admitted to trying out cosmetic treatments in an attempt to appear more youthful, but the outcome stunned his followers. Numerous people commented that he appeared almost beyond recognition, some even comparing him to a figure from a frightening film. The effect was not limited to the response from the public. Accounts indicated that his young son Eric was disturbed by his modified appearance. Faced with these private and public repercussions, Cowell resolved to alter his course. He had some of the fillers taken out and shifted towards less noticeable procedures, seeking a rejuvenated yet authentic appearance instead of drastic modifications. Cowell's metamorphosis was not limited to aesthetic decisions. He embraced a more comprehensive strategy toward aging, concentrating on diet, hydration, and general well-being. This transition mirrors a developing societal movement in the U.S., placing importance on well-being and equilibrium over extreme cosmetic alterations. His journey functions as both a warning story and a motivational model. It highlights the duress even famous individuals encounter in preserving youthfulness, while also showing the importance of restraint and personal well-being. Currently, Simon Cowell continues to be an influential figure in entertainment, demonstrating that self-renewal is not solely about surgical interventions. It concerns intelligent decisions, long-lasting practices, and adopting a more wholesome perspective on getting older. Ultimately, his narrative strikes a chord with anyone trying to balance the delicate boundary between self-perception and personal health. For Cowell, the takeaway is evident. Genuine self-assurance stems from equilibrium, not from excesses. Sharon Osbourne has never concealed her past with aesthetic operations. For decades, she's candidly discussed her facelifts, laser treatments, chemical peels, and other augmentations, chronicling them all in her 2013 memoir, Unbreakable. Her candor made her an uncommon voice in a field that frequently regards plastic surgery as a taboo subject. But in 2021, at age 70, Sharon reached a crossroads. That year, she endured what she described as her most dreadful facelift ever, an arduous 5.5-hour operation that left her appalled by the outcome. To quote her directly, she appeared like a cyclops with asymmetrical eyes and an uncomfortably taut face. The recuperation was wretched, both mentally and corporeally. For the first time, Sharon started to doubt if the quest for flawlessness justified the cost. She conceded, "Time is not on my side," recognizing that significant operations at her age posed excessive dangers. This ordeal altered her outlook. While Sharon had once welcomed routine aesthetic procedures as a method of self-care and assurance, she is now concentrated on accepting her authentic appearance. It is a choice that mirrors a wider reality. While alterations can be strengthening, there is a boundary, and recognizing when to cease is crucial to sustained wellness. Today, at 71, Sharon continues to be forthright and unrepentant. She still supports presenting one's best self, but now champions moderation instead of excess. Her Odyssey provides a frank admonition that aging is unavoidable, beauty is a matter of personal opinion, and health should always be the priority. For Sharon, self-assurance does not stem from an additional operation. It stems from accepting responsibility for her decisions and reimagining beauty according to her own standards. Jessica Alves, previously known as Rodrigo Alves, is a Brazilian-British television figure whose remarkable aesthetic metamorphoses have garnered international attention. Born on July 30, 1983 in São Paulo, Brazil, Jessica was raised in a family of diverse heritage. Her Brazilian mother and British father descended from a lineage of European immigrants who established prosperous enterprises in retail and property. From her youth, Jessica accepted her femininity. She enjoyed playing with Barbie dolls gifted by her grandfather and frequently articulated her identity through attire conventionally linked to girls. Designated male at birth, she never felt restricted by gender conventions, defying traditional standards long before the concept of gender identity became a widely discussed topic. Her adolescent years, however, were arduous. Hormonal dysfunctions resulted in heightened estrogen levels and unforeseen breast growth differences that led to harassment and seclusion. These ordeals strengthened her resolve to live genuinely and appear as the woman she had always perceived herself to be. Jessica's transformative odyssey has been radical and extensively reported. To this day, she has endured over 100 aesthetic operations, expending more than $65,000 on procedures, including numerous rhinoplasties, one of which led to the loss of her ability to smell. For Jessica, these alterations are not a matter of conceit. They are about harmonizing her outward look with her inner self, notwithstanding the physical dangers and emotional burden. Her narrative is both motivational and contentious. It underscores the bravery required to seek authenticity in a critical world alongside the societal influences concerning beauty and gender. Jessica Alves remains unrepentant in her pursuit of personal articulation, serving as an emblem of empowerment, fortitude, and the intricate crossroads of identity and appearance. Pete Burns, the previous lead singer of the British band Dead or Alive, is recalled not just for his memorable 1980s hit, "You Spin Me Round Like a Record," but also for his remarkable and tumultuous association with cosmetic surgery. Burns's distinctive appearance and defiant persona established him as a cultural figure. Yet beneath the audacious image was a perpetual preoccupation with aesthetic enhancements, a fixation that depleted almost all of his wealth and a large part of his health. It all commenced with what appeared to be a standard correction, a rhinoplasty to mend a break. However, that initial move initiated a series of procedures that escalated well beyond anyone's anticipations. Through the years, Burns endured a staggering quantity of surgeries and remedial treatments, approximately 300 in total. In contrast to most individuals who might have difficulty recovering from a single significant surgery, Burns endured a continuous cycle of operations, many of them carried out to rectify infections, adverse effects, or outcomes that did not align with his ideal. His face drastically altered over time, evolved into an emblem of both uniqueness and the perils of fixation. Burns frequently talked openly about his decisions, recognizing that his path was not merely about conceit. For him, it concerned fashioning a persona that corresponded with his internal being, a rejection of conforming to the commonplace. Physicians cautioned him time and again about the hazards and the bodily strain. Yet Burns stayed resolute, intent on pursuing a constantly out-of-reach version of flawlessness. In spite of the suffering monetary pressure and medical dangers, Burns never voiced remorse. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Share it with your friends and hit that subscribe button for more fascinating stories. See you in the next video.